morning, children. This is I am M. Parmeshwari, working as biological science teacher in KGBV Munagapaka, Visakhapatnam district. In the previous session, you have already learned about cell, its structure and function. So you know that all these organisms, either starting from lower organisms like amoeba to higher organisms like human beings, all are made up of cells. Okay, so these cells are nothing but the structural unit of any living organism. So there are different types of organisms on Earth. They may be unicellular or multicellular. Okay, in unicellular organisms, a single cell performs all the functions carried out by the organism. In multicellular organisms, the combination of cells will perform the several functions. So here, including plants will come under the multicellular organism. There we can see plants will perform different types of functions like growth, excretion, respiration. Apart from these, plants perform a special function called as photosynthesis. With this photosynthesis, all the living organisms, they are directly or indirectly getting the food from the plants. So in this session, I am going to teach you about the plant tissues. So the name of the lesson is plant tissues. So you know already what are cells. So here we are getting a new word called as tissue. So tissue is nothing but a group of cells which is having similar structure and performs same function. So I think you got the definition of tissue. Tissue is nothing but it is a group of cells. So a group means different types of cells coming together which are having a similar structure and performing a same function. Either it may be growth, respiration or photosynthesis or any other activity. So such group of cells we are calling them as tissues. So in this lesson we are going to learn about plant tissues. So all of you open your page number, textbook page number 12. In page 12, there they have given a tabular form. In the tabular form, they have given different types of different parts of a plant and the function that they are doing. So in that tabular form, for the absorption of water from soil, absorption of water from soil. There you have to write which part of the plant is carrying this function, absorption of water from the soil. In the second one, they have given exchange of gases. There you have to write which part of the plant is going to perform this function, exchange of gases. In the third one, they have given photosynthesis. So there you are going to write the part of the plant which is going to perform photosynthesis. Fourth one is transpiration. So there you are going to write the part which is going to carry out the process transpiration. And last one is reproduction. So there we are going to write the parts which are going to perform reproduction. So in the lower classes you have already learned that the roots will, the plant is having different parts: roots, stem, leaves, flowers and fruits. So all these different parts will perform different functions. So first one, they have given the absorption of water from soil. This particular function is going to carried out by the roots. Roots you have already learned in your EVS class. The roots are underground. They will absorb water and minerals from the soil, and from roots the water and minerals are transported to the stem. So what is that? The first one is absorption of water from soil. This function is carried out by the which part of the plant? Root. So similarly, exchange of gases. So exchange of gases is nothing but we can simply say that the oxygen is coming into the plant, and the carbon dioxide is going out from the plant, or the carbon dioxide is taken up by the plants, or the oxygen is released by the plants. So this is called as exchange of gases. This exchange of gases is carried out by leaves. Okay. So in the leaves we are having a small pores. Those pores are called as stomata. Through the leaves only the exchange of gases from the plants takes place. And the next one is photosynthesis. So here there is a difference between plants and animals. That is the main function is photosynthesis. Here the photosynthesis is carried out only by the plants, not by the animals. Photosynthesis means in the presence of sunlight, water and carbon dioxide, the plants are able to prepare its own food material in the leaves. That process is called as photosynthesis. In the 6th and 7th class you have already learned about this photosynthesis. Okay. So right, the function photosynthesis is carried out by the leaves. And the next one is transpiration. Transpiration means the exchange or the expellation of excess of water vapor from the plant through leaves is called as transpiration, and this is also carried out by the leaves. And the last one is reproduction. Reproduction means giving birth to the same type of giving birth to the organism which is going to give the same type of organism. Is the process is called as reproduction. This reproduction is carried out by fruit. So actually reproductive part of plant is fruit. In the fruit we are having the seeds. When the seeds are sown in the soil, we are getting a new plant. Apart from that, for reproduction we are having leaves. In some plants leaves will take part in reproduction. In some plants stem will take part in reproduction. In some plants roots will take part in reproduction, like that. Okay. So this is about the first tabular form. So you open your page number 13. In that they have given an activity. So in that activity we can observe the onion peel under microscope. So for this you have to take one onion, peel out its outer structure, place one drop of water, and place the slide under the microscope, and you can observe this type of picture. So this is the onion peel. When you observe under the microscope, you can see this type of picture. That is your activity 2. So similarly, we can see in the activity 3 is also there in page number 13. In that you are going to see the beetle leaves. So beetle leaves means tamalapaku. Okay. You can take the beetle leaf and place the small sample of the leaf on the slide. Place one drop of water, and similar in the same procedure you see under the microscope. There you can see like this structure. Okay. So in the page number 13 they have already given the pictures of the onion peel cells to see the onion peel and the beetle leaf. Next one is, that is activity 4. In the activity 4 you have, the picture showing the growth of cells in onion root tip. Okay, so for this you are going to take one beaker. On the beaker you place the onion and keep it wet with the water. Place this for few days. After few days you can see the roots growing about 1 inch, some inches. So you can cut this root tips, and these root tips can be placed on the side. And see under the microscope. There you can see the growth of root tip. Okay, so when the growth is seen, so for that you can see the activity 5. There they have given one picture. So in the first you can see the cells like this, and slowly the cells will be getting elongated. So this is nothing but to show the growth of the onion root. Okay, so similar type of picture can be seen in the activity 5. Okay, so after concluding here, we can come to a conclusion that the cells group which are having similar structure and function is called tissue. So this is the definition of a tissue. Okay, so tissue means what? A group of cells which are having similar structure and function. So now we are going to learn about different types of plant tissues. Okay, different types of plant tissues. Types of plant tissues. So in plants there are different groups of cells performing different functions. So in that we are having 4 different types of plant tissues. The first one is meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, ground tissue, and vascular tissue. So tell me children, how many types of plant tissues are there? Meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, ground tissue, vascular tissue. All these tissues are having separate structure and they will perform different types of functions. So first, coming to the meristematic tissue. So what is that? The first one is meristematic tissue. Here meristematic tissue is nothing but this is the tissue which is present at the growing tips. That means what? The growing tips we are having. So if this is a plant, the growth tip are both upside and downside. Downside we are having roots, and the upside the plant we are having the stem. So at both these tips we are having this meristematic tissue. So this meristematic tissue is nothing but the tissue which helps at the present of growing tips. So again This meristematic tissue is divided into three types. Apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue, intercalary meristematic tissue. Okay, children. So there are four types of plant tissues: meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, vascular tissue, and ground tissue. Coming to the meristematic tissue is nothing but the growing tissue. So this growing tissue is again, it is present at the growth tips or growing tips, growth tips or growing tips. So again, this meristematic tissue is divided into three types: apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue, intercalary meristematic tissue. Again, so we have to learn these three separately. Apical meristematic tissue means where it is present, lateral meristematic tissue, and intercalary meristematic tissue. Four types of plant tissues: meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, ground tissue, vascular tissue. Meristematic tissue is meant for growth and repair of the plant. So the plant, the growth point and repairing points, there we can see the meristematic tissue. Coming to the dermal tissue, which is present at the outermost layer or the outermost cover of the plant cells, is having dermal tissue. So it gives protection for the plant. And the next one is ground tissue. Ground tissue will form the bulk of the plant. Means all the tissues will be packed in the ground tissues. The whole bulk of the plant is covered with the ground tissue. And the last one is vascular tissue. This vascular tissue is helpful for the transportation of food material, water to the plant. So in plants we are having four types of tissues: meristematic tissue, dermal tissue, ground tissue, vascular tissue. Meristematic tissue is meant for growth and repairment of the plant. Dermal tissue is meant for the covering and protection of the plant. Ground tissue is meant for which forms the bulk of the plant part, bulk of the plant. And vascular tissue is meant for the transportation of food and water. So here in the lesson we are going to learn each and every tissue. So first one is meristematic tissue. So meristematic tissue is again divided into three types: apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue, intercalary meristematic tissue. So how many subgroups are present in meristematic tissue, ma? Apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue, intercalary meristematic tissue. Apical meristematic tissue is nothing but which is present at the tips. The tissue which is present at the tips of roots and shoots. At the growing points, like tips, at the tips, the tissue which is present at the tips of the plant is nothing but the apical meristematic tissue. So which will increase the length of the plant. So this apical meristematic tissue will increase the length of the plant. Okay. Next one is lateral meristematic tissue. This lateral meristematic tissue will helps you in the growth of edges. That means the growth of the plant, the growth of the stem, we are getting it from the lateral meristematic tissue. Lateral means sidewise. Okay, sidewise growth is because of this lateral meristematic tissue. And the last one is intercalary meristematic tissue. The intercalary meristematic tissue is nothing but the tissue which is present at the regions of where the branches, fruits and flowers will grow. Okay. So intercalary meristematic tissue is the tissue which is present at the regions where we are getting the branches, fruits and flowers. So meristematic tissue is divided into three types: apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue, intercalary meristematic tissue. Apical meristematic tissue is present at the tips of the plants, that is like root or shoot. So this will help in the growth of length of the plant. And the next one is lateral meristematic tissue, which is present at the edges. The edge region of the plant is there we are having lateral meristematic tissue, which will help in the growth of the girth of the stem. Means the stem size will be increased by the lateral meristematic tissue. And the last one is intercalary meristematic tissue. This tissue is present at the regions where the branches, fruits and flowers are growing. Okay. So this is about the meristematic tissue. Coming to the characteristics of meristematic tissue. So here the cells in the meristematic tissue are having very thin cell wall. So the meristematic tissue is having very thin cell wall. It is having a prominent nucleus. The cells will have prominent nucleus and cytoplasm. So they are closely packed. So in the meristematic tissue, all the cells are closely packed. Okay. So the meristematic tissue is having thin cell wall. They are having prominent nucleus and cytoplasm. All the cells in the meristematic tissue are closely packed, and they are the living cells. These cells are living cells. Okay. So this is about the meristematic. This dermal tissue is also helpful for the storage of excess secretory substances. So dermal tissue, in some dermal tissue, excess of secretory substances are stored in dermal tissue. For example, in the plants like acacia and neem trees, we can see the secretory substances are excreted through the dermal tissue. And in gum plants also, these excretory substances are stored in the dermal tissue. So this dermal tissue is meant for the mechanical support to the plant, gives the mechanical support to the plant, gives protection to the plant, damage from loss of water from the plant. And apart from that, in some plants it is also helpful in the storage of secretory substances. This is all about dermal tissue. So in dermal tissue we are having the cells which are somewhat thicker in, the cell wall is somewhat thicker than the meristematic tissue. Okay. In dermal tissue, the cell wall is somewhat thicker than compared to the meristematic tissue. So now coming to the next type of tissue. The next type of tissue is ground tissue. What is the next type of tissue? Ground tissue. So here I have already told you that ground tissue is meant for the packing. So whole girth of the plant is due to the ground tissue. So again, this ground tissue is the packing material of the plant. So the packing material of the plant is formed by the ground tissue. Again, ground tissue is divided into various types, that is parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. So ground tissue will form the major part of the plant tissue. Again the ground tissue is divided into three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. So here in parenchyma the cells are having thin cell wall and they are very smooth cells. Okay, the cells are having very thin cell wall, the cells are very smooth and they are loosely packed. Okay, the layer of cells, the layer of ground tissue cells which are having very thin cell wall, having smooth cells, having loosely packed cells are nothing but the parenchyma tissue. Again this parenchyma tissue can be of different types. In some parenchyma tissue we can see the photosynthesis is carried out. So such a type of parenchyma tissue where the photosynthesis is carried out, there we can see the green color pigment. So such type of cells are called as chlorenchyma. Okay. So the next type of parenchyma where in some plants we can see the air spaces. Okay, so the cells which are filled with air spaces, the parenchyma which is filled with the air spaces are called as aerenchyma. In some parenchyma we can see the stored food material stored. In such type of parenchyma is called as storage parenchyma. So again parenchyma is divided into chlorenchyma, aerenchyma, storage parenchyma, depending upon the particular function in that particular plant. Okay, in that particular plant if it is carrying out the photosynthesis, then that is called as chlorenchyma. In certain plant it is filled with the air, means then that type of parenchyma is called as aerenchyma. If the parenchyma is stored with the stored food material, then that is called as storage parenchyma. So this is about the parenchyma, which is the first type of ground tissue. Next, coming to the second one, collenchyma. Second one is collenchyma. So compared to the parenchyma, here in collenchyma we are having the thick cell wall containing cells and the cells are somewhat elongated. Okay, that is the characteristic feature of collenchyma. In collenchyma compared to the parenchyma, the cell wall is somewhat thicker and the cells are also elongated and they are closely packed. And the next one is sclerenchyma. So here in sclerenchyma the cell wall is thicker than collenchyma and parenchyma. The cell wall is thicker than collenchyma and sclerenchyma and it is having the deposits. So deposits of calcium and magnesium are present in the sclerenchyma. So there the cell wall is thicker as compared to the collenchyma and parenchyma, which will give the mechanical support to the plant. Okay, so this is about the ground tissue. So in the laboratory we can see the permanent slides of this parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. And the last one is vascular tissue. The last type of tissue is vascular tissue. So vascular tissue is meant for conduction of food and water. So you all know the food is prepared in the leaves. So from the leaves the whole plant requires the food material. So there should be some tissue or cells which will carry out this food material which is prepared in the leaves. So similarly for the preparation of food we require water. So again this water from the ground it has to be It has to be conducted to the various parts of the plant so that the food can be prepared in the leaf. So the cells which are helpful for the conduction of this water and food are called as vascular tissue. So vascular tissue is divided into two types, xylem and phloem. This xylem is meant for the conduction of water and phloem is meant for the conduction of food material. So depending upon its function, xylem is having different structure and phloem is having different structure. So vascular tissue is composed of two types of cells, xylem cells and phloem cells. The xylem cells are helpful in the conduction of water and the phloem cells are helpful for the conduction of food material. Okay. So these together, the xylem and phloem together, they are called as vascular bundles. In page number 20, you can see the picture of TS of stem. In the stem, we can see that the xylem and phloem, they are put together like this. So the xylem and phloem together, they are called as vascular bundles. So in xylem, we are having tracheids, xylem vessels and xylem parenchyma. So these are the different types of cells which are present in the xylem tissue, which are helpful in the conduction of water from the roots to the different parts of the plant. And again, in the phloem, so about these all you can learn in the higher classes. Coming to the phloem is helpful for the conduction of food material which is prepared in the leaves to the different parts of the plant. Phloem is composed of sieve cells, sieve tubes and companion cells, phloem fiber and phloem parenchyma. Okay, so all these cells are present in the phloem tissue which are helpful in the conduction of food material in the plant. So you might have been wondered that the plants like eucalyptus and other plants, they will be about very height, about 250 to 350 meters. So to that much height also, these vascular bundles are having that capacity to conduct the water to this much height plants. Okay, so this is about the vascular bundle. So remaining this about the xylem vessels, tracheids, xylem fiber and xylem parenchyma. Similarly, like sleeve cells, sleeve tubes, companion cells, seed and phloem fiber and phloem parenchyma, you will be learning in the higher classes. So with this we have completed the plant tissues. So now I am recollecting the whole lesson. So plant tissue, what is tissue? Tissue is nothing but the group of cells which are having similar structure and performing the same function. Plant tissues are divided into four types: meristematic tissue, ground tissue and earth tissue. So these four types of, we have learned about different types of meristematic tissue, different types of dermal tissue, different types of ground tissue and different types of vascular tissue. So all these four types of tissues are helpful for the functioning of the plant. So with this we have completed this video. Thank you one and all.